Alright, so we're doing this design because I feel like we don't quite grasp the idea of the differences between a working and a presentational floor plan. And I'm not sure we quite grasp what a rendering is. Okay, so where we're starting is that I expect you to draw a basic floor plan. Okay, it's not an overly large one-story home, but it actually can become fairly large in the two-story. I'm trying to leave some of it ambiguous, as we look at this 1,200, 1,700 square feet footprint. Okay, it's not overly large, but it's good size. You can fit a family of 4 in there. 2 livable stories max. Okay, so whether you want to go 1 story in an upstairs or 1 story in a basement, that's yours. Must have a kitchen, 2 bath minimum, 3 bedrooms minimum. Got to have living spaces. Okay, all of these are kind of stuff that you should know and should be able to do and should be able to put in. So none of this is new. I feel like you should be able to put a 2x6 exterior walls in and should be able to put 2x4 interior walls in. Okay, I feel like you should be able to put in some furniture layout. Okay, and that you should be able to put in some flooring, and you should know plenty of closets. Okay, but these two, okay, overall dimensions and room tags and the creation of the rendering, okay, is where it's going to be a little bit different. Okay, so we're going to start here. I'm going to show you how to put in some room tags and do some overall dimensions. Okay, so starting with dimensions, when I talk about overall, I'm not worried about how big this room is. I want to know how big the overall dimensions of the house are. So that's real quick. That's annotate. And for some reason, you would think linear would work. And I've never gotten linear dimensions to work on Revit. I always have to use aligned. Okay? And when we go aligned, okay, I want to show you one thing. I move over to this here and notice it selects the center of the wall. Okay, center of the wall tells me nothing. I don't need to know the center of the wall. So I have this drop down menu here that allows me to pick different faces. Okay, so I want this outside face. Okay, wall faces. I want that outside face, and I want this outside face. And so I'm able to come up and I'm able to put an exterior dimension. So we now know that from here to here is 57.8. Okay, in addition to from here to here is 48.2. Okay, and I just drew a rough rectangle of a building. Didn't actually do any of the math. So within a presentational floor plan, that's all we give. We give the overall dimensions of the buildings. So we can build the structure. And so it's the idea of we're selling the building, and so they're trying to figure out the grasp. They're not so much worried about all of the interior detail at that one point. Okay, so that is what's going on there. The next one we need to come in here and we need to put room tags. So the idea of room tags is that they tell you what each different room consists of. Okay, and within them we give the square footage. Okay, and so that's really where we're telling the information about in here. So if I go to my architecture, there is this room button. Okay, and this room button is where we put in our room tags. So I'm just going to click on it, and it identifies different rooms based on the walls. Okay, so right here I have one room, and I click on it, and it inserts my room tag. And then I can come in here and I can type in here what the room name is, and I'm just going to call this a living room. Okay, so here's a living room. It's been identified, and then on a table elsewhere, it's going to create living. It's going to say 1. Okay, so if we click on the living, okay, if we click on the tag itself, and we go over here to our properties, right now it's just set up as a room tag. Well, I don't want it a room tag. I wanted a room tag with room tag with area. Okay, and so right now we have 358. Okay, it's telling me that this is 358 square feet. Okay, 358 square feet for the room tag. So right there is what that is saying. Okay. So we have this room, 358 square foot. Okay, living room. Okay, I purposely left this big open area. Okay, because I have I need a room separator. Okay, because this is actually two different rooms. Okay, so I'm gonna come in here. I'm gonna click my room separator, and I'm gonna draw a line from here to there. Okay, and so now there is just this line that separates the two rooms. Okay, and so it isn't a different room. There isn't a wall, but it is two different rooms, and you can find that throughout. Okay, and so we can come in here, we can click room, and notice what happens. It now sees these two as two different rooms, and so I can come in here and I can rename this as kitchen. Okay. And I can come in here and I can rename this, master bedroom. Okay, and then on here we can come in, we can click on this room tag, and we can hit this drop down, and we can go room with area. Okay, and we can go room with area. Okay, and so now we have the room tags, we have the square footage, and so we're able to continue modeling and going on. Okay, in addition to, I want furniture layout. Furniture layout is very, very important, and I want all of that in every room. I want to have the look and the feel of it. Okay. In addition to that, okay, here's how to do, and I'm going to show you an exterior. The concepts are the same, but the lighting is a little bit different. So now if I zoom out a little bit, what I'm going to do is I'm going to come up here to this house. I'm going to hit that drop down, and I can create a camera. Okay, from my camera. Okay, I'm going to click here and I'm going to bring this across, okay, and it's going to create a 3D view based on that camera, okay, and from there we're able to generate a photorealistic rendering based on the principles and the properties in which I put on, okay, and so I have a house, okay, I click on my house with, I click on my teapot. The teapot, for some reason, is the render dialog box. Okay, and so what I'm able to do is there are a couple different settings. You got draft, medium, high, best. Right now, I'm just going to hit draft. Okay, since we're outside, my scheme is going to be sun only. Okay, you can have exterior sun and artificial if you want to turn on lights. Okay, you can do exterior artificial only. That would be represented at night. Okay, since I have no interior lights in it, I'm just going to use sun only. And you can do some different things throughout. Okay, sun only, render, okay, and it's going to use the information that I've given it, and it's going to create a bunch of different little pictures throughout, okay, and to create it, okay. This went really, really fast because I had it on draft, okay. The more detail you get, okay, the longer it takes. And so right here you can see you have clouds, okay. One thing you haven't noticed is that we don't have a ground, okay. And because we don't have a ground, no ground shows up, okay. You can see the detail of the windows, okay. And since I used a default gray to represent the walls and the colors of the walls, those show up as gray. So as we change information, put on siding, change the color of the siding, it will change what we get on the render output. Okay, the idea is the same inside, but if we do an interior rendering, okay, so if I come back in here, I go level 1, okay, and you want your renderings to show as much detail and give as much information as possible. So I'm going to create a rendering, okay, here's what it is, okay, open up my render dialog box, and I go render, and it's going to create a draft rendering of it, and it's going to take a little bit longer because I have more detail here, because I have my furniture, but it won't take a lot. This is what we come up with, okay, as we change the color, it gets more important. As we throw in flooring, it's going to change things. Okay, right now I have enough places to allow in exterior lighting that you can see it. As we add in a floor, as we add in a ceiling, if we don't have interior features, it's going to make it dark, and so that's where interior lighting comes in. All right, Thanks, guys. Good luck.